There we go. All right. Hey, welcome back. Black Desert Online. Here we go. So for those of you who don't know, Black Desert Online is a Korean sandbox MMO set to release in North America and Europe on March 3rd of this year. Woo, it's very close now, yes. So I've been playing on the Japanese servers. I could not wait to play it after the closed beta, the first closed beta test. I wasn't able to get in, and I was like, oh my god, I kept following the game like crazy. And so I started playing on the Japanese servers. I went through that long-handed way of getting into the servers. So like the purpose, what I want to do is I want to kind of give you guys my impressions of the game so far and some kind of like tips on what to do for the next closed beta test before launch sets in. It's pretty. I mean, it's really it's beautiful. It's just it's a great looking game, guys. Before an MMO and a sandbox MMO open world, it's a phenomenally gorgeous game, and it shouldn't be such a high requirement on my list for a game to be good. It has to look good, but I've always been that way. I always needed my games to look amazing. So this game, it does that. So this game looks amazing. It's absolutely amazing. It looks pretty, and it's for good reason. You know, outside of it looking beautiful, there's another like big requirement I have to MMOs, which might not quite, fit in like a top 10 list thing, but it's something that Lord of the Rings Online had and Guild Wars 2 had. It's had going for it positively. It's the little things. And what I mean by the little things, like, little things in the game that really aren't part of the game per se, but are just there to raise the appeal of the game. It can be from like cosmetic items to how your character moves, so what your characters interact with the world, and like just like kind of the stuff that makes you play the game longer than you would have originally. And Black Desert Online has a lot of the little things, and more often than not, it's pretty amazing. It's pretty awesome. Running to stopping, jumping, moving, horse movement, bumping into other players, just sitting in town, looking around, walking, dust, water, ocean breezes, the spray of the sea as you're on your fishing boat. I mean, the little things just add up to make the game just so much fun just to stand around and do nothing in. Like, you can just log in, sit down on a bench, cross your legs, and just be like, hey, that's it. I'm just going to stare at people walking by, watching their trade routes going around, and watch people carrying trade packs, leveling up their strength for more carry weight. So, yeah, the little things, they're there, and more often than not, it's pretty amazing. You can do parkour. So, coming from games like Lord of the Rings Online and Guild Wars 2, I am super used to, instance games. Being able to, like, boom, you're in a dungeon just because you queued for the dungeon. For Lord of the Rings Online, that is. Especially they went super instance, like crazy instance. And you got fast travel. And in Guild Wars 2, oh my god, Guild Wars 2, you're jumping around like a magician. You're just like, you're here, you're there, you're there. Black Desert, I didn't think I would like this, but Black Desert Online has no fast travel. I mean, that's insane. First I was like, oh my god, there's no fast travel. How is that gonna work? How am I supposed to get over there? I have to walk? You telling me I have to walk there? I didn't think I would like it, but man, it has grown on me, and I think it has because it's such like a fresh breath of air compared to like Lord of the Rings Online and other instance games. It's just like if you want to get some, you gotta travel there. Like you gotta go there. It's like one of the only games I felt like, yeah, I'm in this world, and if I want to get 3 cities over, I have to go walk the distance. That brings me right in to the next point. Log out? Please, son. I ain't logging out. Why do you want to log out? You can stay in forever. Stay in for as long as till they kick you out, man. They're not going to kick you out. The only way I got kicked out is I got disconnected from the VPN. Man, you can stay in this game all the time. There's so much AFK-ness. And this is the big selling point for me. Netflixability with this game is strong. Like, strong. Netflix time. Oh yeah. This is something that I haven't really had in MMOs. There's a lot to do AFK, like a lot. More so than any other game. Like you can have workers just farming all day at nodes and stuff, and like they'll just go and get the materials for you, come back later on, go for a workout, go outside and breathe sunshine beams. You come back and look, you did stuff in the game. Stuff's happened. Like you didn't miss anything. AFK fishing, like boom, you can do manual fishing. You go fishing there, you pull it in. I'm gonna, or you just there and just like, yeah, I'm just gonna cast my line in there. It'll catch stuff. Boom. Traveling is starting to be an AFK activity where you can just set a waypoint and your character will run there. As long as you don't get ambushed by bandits and die, and you'll come back to a death screen, and then you'll just port to the nearest town and try again. Crafting also, Altoholics, rejoice, guys. It's Alt City up in here. Black Desert Online, it's Black Desert Alt City all the way. Man, I love making alts. You can blame my experiences playing Lord of the Rings Online. I made 9 characters right off the get-go, leveling them all up at the same time. It was like my own Fellowship of the Ring. I always play all the classes right off from the get-go to learn that one and level it up more. And Black Desert Online totally caters to that. A lot has to do with like no fast travel. You can have like your characters in different areas. So say you, oh my gosh, your workers are out of energy. You need to feed them up with some beer, so you just switch it, bam, get you your person who's the beer man, and they're all crafting the beer, and here you go, guys, here's your beer. And they're like, oh man, look at that, I need to, like, I don't know, go to the main city, but it's so far away, so jump into your character that's already in the capital city. Oh my goodness, it's time to quest, but I don't want to run out of the main city. Your other characters, they're in the questing area or whatever the hell you're doing. It's like, and then the best part about it is you can take your armor that you already had for your whatever your main character was, throw it on your alts, boom, leveling up like crazy. It's amazing. You share pretty much everything, except inventory space. I wish you shared inventory space. That would have been really helpful. But yeah, this game is super alt friendly. I love that. I love that it's super alt friendly. I mean, that's just a game that's like, hey, you know what? We're making having multiple characters mean something. Because I haven't also got really to late game. I haven't really participated in PvP, got in guilds or any stuff like that. You know, I don't speak Japanese, and I'm not sure. I think I'm on the wrong server for the English guild if there is one. But what I did get a chance to experience is like combat, classes, crafting. You know, general knowledge about the game. You know, the what's what. Like you jump in, you're like, oh, I get it. You gotta, you know, gotta move around like that. Okay, this is how you do. Oh, you jump. Oh, wow, look at that. Oh, yeah, like ooh, wow, ooh, that's ooh, hi, ooh, ah, ooh, oh, that, oh, yes, ooh, ooh, what, you're like, oh, what's what, yeah, like that thing, you know, woo, what? This game takes a while to kind of get used to, more so than any other games. There's a lot of systems in it that don't really make sense. I want to say it's because of the language barrier, but I did look at guides and stuff. The combat's amazing. Combat is so much fun. Like it's a lot of fun. It's fun. It's fun. Do you have to say any more about combat? You can look at so many other people's playing, but it's just fun. You know, it's fun to play it. Crafting is also pretty cool. It's really intense and it takes a lot of effort. And I feel like they need to have kind of like an environmental friendly lecturer come in and be like, hey guys, I see you using about an entire forest to build one boat. I think you guys need to, you know, maximize your outputs and, you know, make a fleet with all those materials. You're throwing away a lot of wood. Like I see you chopping wood over there and you're just using the middle section. Why aren't you using the rest of the log there? So classes are gender locked, which is, it's actually a real bummer in this game. I don't think, a lot of times like, oh, classes, there's some gender lock class. This time it's a bit of a bummer because a lot of the cool classes you have to pick female. I read some of the lore, and apparently females are supposed to be more magical or mystical in the game, with the wizard being like the only exception or something like that. So that's why like you have like a warrior and a Valkyrie, and they're like the sword and shield class, but the Valkyrie is more like a paladin and it has kind of like more magical powers, and it felt way more fun to play to me than like the generic just warrior class. And I was kind of bummed out because I'm like, I want to have like, you know, a good mix of male and female characters, because I'm like, I want to play sorceress, I want to play ranger, I want to play tamer, like I want to, and I'm just like, these are all female classes and there is no counterpart. So there's no counterpart to the sorceress, which is an amazing class, which I'm probably most likely going to lean on. There's a couple where they have like direct counterparts where they're kind of the same. 2 of those classes are not in the English release, but I play one on the Japanese version. It's the Blader Plum and the Assassin Ninja. and they're pretty much the same thing, male and female. So the only ones that we have access to in the English is going to be the Wizard Witch, coming up in a couple weeks. In a week, I think now. By the time this is up, probably less than a week. Is the closed beta test 2, the 18th of next week, and I just wanted to give you kind of some, like, what do you do? Like, people, like, if you haven't played the game yet and you're just going to jump right into, like, what do you do? It's really overwhelming. And I think what you don't want to, like, get carried away with, or you don't want to distract yourself with, first of all, first and foremost, is the character creation. Get your characters already set. It's free. It's available. You can get it right now. You just got to make an account. Boom. You can make your own characters now. Get that locked in. You don't want to waste any time doing that. You want to see how your character is going to actually play out. So try to, like, you know, skin tones, lighting, how they're going to look around, and make sure, like, everything that you thought was going to happen happens. Because deleting characters takes forever. I don't know if it's going to remain that way, but it's like 24 hours to delete a character, and you don't have that many character slots to, like, you don't have that much leeway. So you mess up a character, you got to wait 24 hours before that slot gets freed up. So you don't want to, like, mess around too much with that. You want to make sure you get your characters locked in. So when launch comes up, you're like, oh my god, the eyeball looks kind of weird. I didn't realize that it looks that way. Or, ooh, why did I make the hand so big? Or like, oh my god, what's happening with the hair? Why is it clipping into the armor? You know, stuff like that. Figure all that stuff out. Get it all locked in. That's a good way to just make sure you're ready for launch. Try to know what kind of class you want to play, or know, like, pick 3 classes. I think because you'll have 3 slots. I'm not sure how that's going to work out, but, like, you know, pick a couple of the classes, you know, order them, which ones you're most likely wanting to play. Go and play them, you know, just don't stick to one class too long. Go get out there, play with that character, see if you like it. I recommend playing up to level 20 at least, because this will also go into, like, what I'm just about to say right after, but I'm just going to jump ahead of myself, because then you'll get enough skills, big AoEs and really cool skills that you'll be like, oh, okay, this class is pretty cool. Like with Ranger, it took to like level 20. I got this AoE that's just was amazing. It was just like mowing down mobs. And I was like, oh, cool, this class has became really awesome. You can really grind out and kill a lot of mobs really easily. You know, pick a couple, because you don't want to get stuck with a class you don't like. And to say, oh, you were kind of torn between 2, that you just pick one that you liked more, that was visually appealing to you, because later on, after you max out that character, get really cool armor and stuff for him, you can just throw that armor on the alt and just quickly level that next character up pretty efficiently. So there's always that opportunity. Think ahead a little bit like that. Have fun. Whichever one feels like the most fun, because they play decently differently. So like, as long as you like what you're doing, it's gonna be fun and you're gonna have a good time. So this kind of goes along with like the whole level 20 thing. Don't spend your skill points like a starving pilgrim on Thanksgiving, all right? You want to, like, save them up, all right? So when I first started playing, I was just like, oh, skill, new skill, and pay skill. I didn't realize that I'm buffing up, like, the main skills, those, like, 3-cost skills, like, oh, I'm buffing up, like, the passives and stuff. You want to save them up. You want to look at the skill tree a little bit. Find some of the really cool big skills. Any skill that costs, like, above 8 is going to be really cool, like 8 or 10 or 11. You just look at what level they unlock and start to plan it out and be like, oh, I want to try this, because like those skills, they're really cool. I mean, like, you want to see what's available for the class, so like you want to like save them up, look at them, and be smart about picking them, so you can at least feel how the class is going to be. As get enough skills unlocked, you're like, okay, now I understand how this class will be, if I like it or not. So I really do recommend not just like blowing your skill points up, but just like, oh, whatever, like at least get be a little more civilized with them and look ahead and be like, okay, I want to, I see this one coming up, I need just 2 more. I'm not going to spend it like my skill points on this other skill. I want to get the upgraded one. I want to get the new one. I really recommend spending your time with that. So another thing to focus on a little bit, or just to get yourself familiar with, is the Vigor, probably energy, they're going to call it. Well, in the version I have, it's Vigor and contribution point system. You're going to get used to like how that works. And one way I do recommend doing it is making beer for your workers. And so you can get your first one in Velia. I think there's some guides out. I'll put some links to one of the streamers' guides I've been following mainly. He puts up a lot of really cool guides, and also mention it at the end of the video. I'll put the links up there. It's to make beer. It's because all you need is one ingredient. You just need like a wheat, but you can get it multiple ways. I just use potatoes because that's what I got on the guide. I'm like, oh, they're really close. And so figure out how to make beer, and I'll kind of go through the process of like nodes and contribution points, energy, and all that. Kind of get a hang of like, oh, I get how to do this. So get familiar with the system, just in case like you really wanted to get really intense with the crafting. It's actually a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with it. I spent a lot of time doing it. it's a lot of fun. It's different. It's different in a good way. And this also applies to me now. For the beta the voice acting is going to be added. I think there's going to be some voice acting in English, and translation text should hopefully be getting updated, because some of the translations are really terrible. I think it's by intention, so you don't get like spoiled on like questing on the quests and stuff. But like there's gonna be voice acting, see how that's gonna be in the translation. So hopefully, keep an eye out on that. So far the publishers have been listening a lot to feedback, so that'll be like a good time for us to look at the translations, see how there are, and give a lot of feedback about whether or not they make sense, or if the voice acting is quite there or not. And they listen. They've been listening really like a lot, and so that's really something for us to look out for, is to be like, hey, help them out a little bit with making the translation nice and kind of like go over pretty easily. Okay, yeah, so those are like my impressions of Black Desert Online. I am super excited about this game because it's just different, and you don't have to spend so much time in it. You can just go AFK. It's beautiful. It's really fun. It's fun to play it. I'm really looking forward to the story missions and the quest lines, because I haven't been reading text. I didn't really want to get spoiled. I just wanted to know the aesthetic of the game more so than anything else. So I'm really excited to really take my time and read quests and see what the heck this world is about and what the Black Seer actually wants. And like, he's following me around. He's super creepy. What do you want with me, dude? You can either involve in that or involved in like in the world PvP and all that kind of fun stuff. I really want to see how end game involving other people is. But yeah, but I don't know if it's gonna be great. So, but I'm excited to at least test it out, try it out for myself. And I hope like everyone else has that open mind. They just don't judge it too quickly. It does take a bit to get used to it, which is amazing. You don't get that a lot in games anymore. Games have been holding your hand a little bit too much. I like how they just throw you in it, and you have to really learn the systems. I do recommend that you check out Pvt. I don't know how he pronounces it. It's Wiggles, Pvt Wiggles. I think if you're watching, you more than likely have watched a lot of his videos. I've been using him mainly to help me out with the game, just because some of the other guides are kind of confusing or poorly translated. But he's been really great. He's a streamer who streams Black Desert Online. I think they're going to continue mainly streaming it once it launches. So Pvt Wiggles. He has a lot of guides and tips. He just released today a top 10 tips for playing the game for new people, and that's actually a really great guide that you guys should check that out. But he gives some really great 10 tips for playing. I was watching. I'm like, oh shit, dude, I wasn't doing that right. Oops. That's how that works. All right, so it's really great. Even when you're playing, you're just someone who's actually streaming and playing a lot. They can it's really great. I'm pretty sure he's gonna have some really awesome videos once it officially launches, and it's a good channel to keep it. If you're planning to play this game or playing it at all seriously or even casually, he's gonna give you a lot. I'm pretty sure he's gonna have a lot more guides in there. That's all for now with this. I hope you guys got enough information. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. If you have any more tips for the closed beta for people or anything about the game, leave some comments about it. Let people see. Let people know. I'm excited. Are you excited? I don't know. Hopefully we're all excited, and we don't burn the city down.